welcome. This is your Wish Upon a Star Lunar Horoscope for Thursday, June 10th, 2021. Luna will be voyaging through the sign of Gemini, the twins, bringing vibrancy, energy, also coordinating logistics. And also there's going to be hectic schedules and also a lot of messaging and texting between people. Now, the new moon occurs while transiting the 7th mansion of the moon. And that's going to be at 10:53 a.m. and we're using Universal Time Coordinated and Tropical Astrology. Now, Luna's activation of Lunar Mansion number 7 during the new moon at 0% light is potent and very powerful for completing receptive magic spells while beginning plans for projective magic rituals. Mansion of the Moon number 7 is in effect from early in the morning on June 10th at 5:32 a.m. Okay, until the morning of June 11th at 7:22 a.m. Now, with the new moon occurring in Gemini at 10:53 a.m., and that's on the 10th, Lunar Mansion 7 is magically activated at the exact time of the new moon occurring in Gemini, the twins. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. I'm a Rosicrucian seer, biblical astrologer, Christian psychic, and Gnostic mystic. And this is a Readings by Rosemary angelic transmission. Luna will be in Gemini from 17 degrees, 8 minutes, and 34 seconds, moving into Cancer at 0 degrees and 0 minutes, 0 seconds. So it's going to be from about, mid-portion, a little after the mid-portion of Gemini to the very, just to the up to the margin or border of the sign of Cancer. Okay, so you've got, those are the margins of Lunar Mansion number 7 according to Abraham. Now, the stars to wish upon inside the 7th mansion of the moon, and the mansion of the moon is named Aldira, are named Castor and Pollux, that dwell in the forearm of the great Arabic lion, that are what Westerners see as the heads of the twins of Gemini. And this is according to Christopher Warnock. Now, Castor is also named Alpha Geminorum, and Pollux is furthermore known as Beta Geminorum. Okay? Ask the angel of Alpha Geminorum and Beta Geminorum, who is named Scheliel, to answer your request and fulfill your supplication and make good things happen to you. Sorceresses and sorcerers create representations to make money, to gain produce yield, stocks, commodities, and wares, to journey securely, to voyage upon the oceans in a favorable manner, to acquire confidants and benefactors, and to exterminate flies, and also to cause royalty, to approve your person and enterprises, as well as to demolish and thwart bureaucrats, administrators, and executives. Okay, so some of these may seem good and some may seem bad, but it's relying upon your point of view. Because if you think you've been treated unjustly by someone, then you may want to thwart something they're doing if you think what they're doing might hurt you and your family or your community or your tribe or whatever. So it's like if you eat a steak, it's good, might be good for you and your family, but it's bad for the cow and the cow's family. You see what I mean? It depends on your point of view. It's relying upon what's convenient for you, whether something's good or bad. So just understand, these are the things that occur during these mansions. You might as well know about it and do what's best for you. Okay, now, and we're going to give you ways to do that. Now, to persuade Scheliel to grant you the powers of receiving all beneficial and fortunate luxuries, create a rendering of a devout man dressed in sacred robes, supplicating to heaven with his hands held up facing towards the sky, is what's recommended by Warnock. Okay? All right. Now, Agrippa describes the 7th lunar mansion as being named Al-Dimyach or Alarzak. And that's recommending supplication towards Scheliel for this mansion. It's the same mansion, but it's called different names by different cultures, and this is according to Agrippa. But Scheliel is the same angel, to acquire fellowship, to supplicate, to acquire fellowship, romantic love, eradicate flies, and devastate or eliminate judges by using images thereof. You see what I'm saying? Now, an icon of a man dressed in splendid attire, praying to heaven with his hands held up facing towards the sky, is used to acquire superbly fine and extravagant goods, okay, rewards and services. So if you see a man dressed in fine religious robes, going like this, supplicating just towards heaven, that's to acquire fine and extravagant goods, rewards, and services. It gives you earthly rewards. Okay? Now, to further add to the potency of the magical talisman, sorceresses and sorcerers fashioned the emblem of the supplicating man with arms stretched up from a silver. They made it out of silver. They made an emblem or an icon of this rendering out of silver. Okay, an insignia out of silver. Then they added the sense of superior and marvelous aromas to give it more potency. Now, according to Kabbalistic lore, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, while Cancer is ruled by the Moon. Gemini's birthstone is pearl, with Cancer birthstone being ruby. Now, rosaries and amulets using pearl for Gemini are magically potent for this praxis. Kabbalistic and alchemical planetary associations in this instance of a new moon in Gemini whilst transiting through lunar mansion number 7 could be utilized with perfumes, essential oils, or flowers, as well as colors. Now, planetary alchemical metals, in this case, for these planetary alchemical correspondences, would indicate quicksilver for the planet Mercury. Now, warning, mercury or quicksilver is a liquid metal at room temperature. Moreover, quicksilver is toxic if ingested or absorbed through the skin and is therefore neither practical nor workable for this operation. Now, only persons with the knowledge, the skill, and the licensing to do so should ever handle quicksilver, since this metal can cause mercury poisoning. We will now look at other appropriate and magically effective alchemical metals suited for mansion of the moon Aldira. Regarding the Gemini birthstone of pearl, this could be used for amulet ornamentation as well as for rosary beads or magical jewelry gemstones. Since Agrippa recommends silver rather than mercury or quicksilver, Agrippa recommends silver rather than quicksilver, as the alchemical metal of choice, silver, for forming a magical talisman to be used in the mansion of Aldira, also named Al-Dimiach or Al-Arzak. We shall take a look at the planetary associations of the stars Castor and Pollux, scientifically named Alpha Geminorum and also called Beta Geminorum respectively. Now, it's important to note here that according to Vivian Irwood Robson, author of the book The Fixed Stars and Constellations in Astrology, the Greek astronomer Ptolemy gives the precise planetary attributes to stars located in various portions of the constellation of the Twins. For the placement of Castor, a binary star possessing one brilliant white star and one soft white star located in the head of the mortal northern twin of Gemini, Ptolemy reveals that this star is akin in personality to Mercury, and the planet Mercury, and is thus in agreement with the Kabbalists' assessment of the planet Mercury to the constellation of Gemini, since Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Nevertheless, in view of the fact that quicksilver is not proper for our purposes here, that of common persons manufacturing magical talismans, we shall search further for a fitting alchemical metal. Concerning the position of the star Pollux, an orange star, it has orange hue, located in the head of the immortal southern twin of Gemini, Ptolemy divulges that this star is similar in character to Mars, and thus we have found an suitable correspondence for crafting magical talismans for lunar mansion Aldera. Okay? Now, indeed, seeing that the alchemical metal for Mars is iron, and given that iron is realistic and usable for this function, since the metal of Mars is iron, and the metal is neither being ingested nor injected in the making of a rosary chain, an amulet base, or magical jewelry setting, iron is functional and workable for common persons to utilize for our intention. Now, in summary, regarding the mansion of Aldera, the gemstone of pearl is potent for use in creating of rosary beads, amulet, ornaments, or jewelry gems. On the topic of the metal to be used in the making of rosary chains, amulet bases, or magical jewelry settings, if the attribute of a sensitive, psychically powerful lunar temperament is the intention of the charm, then the alchemical metal of silver is recommended by Agrippa for this mansion, is the metal to select. On the other hand, if the quality of martial aggression is the design of the talisman, the martial, Mars, the martial, competitive or combative, if that's the design of the talisman, then the alchemical metal of iron for Mars is endorsed by Ptolemy for the star Pollux. Pollux, P-O-L-L-U-X, is the metal of choice for use in the fashioning of rosary chains, amulet bezels, or enchanted jewelry settings. Keep in mind that the number assigned to each mansion of the moon may vary, relying upon the cultural and the astrological attributes of the system being used. What pinpoints the exact lunar mansion to which we are referring is made clear by the use of the star to be wished upon, as well as by the name of the indicated mansion of the moon, which we've given you here. Okay? Because in some cultures they have different numbers assigned. Okay? That's just a cultural thing. So the star and the mansion, the name of it, will tell you what you're doing and the number of it. Now, the moon in Gemini provides talents in communicating and messaging, plentiful social and networking skills, and the ability to keep life enjoyable, new, and exciting. Planetary archangel for Luna or the moon is Gabriel. God is my strength, power of God, and a messenger of God. Not the messenger of God, that's Raphael, but a very important messenger of God. But mostly Gabriel is God is my strength and power of God. Gabriel. Now, zodiac angel for Gemini is Umbriel, whose divine tone is I think. Tarot card for Luna or the moon is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess sits between the pillars of the temple, the pillars of Joachim and Boaz, holding a Torah scroll in her hand, because the Torah is for your left brain and the Tarot is for your right brain. So you get both hemispheres working. Where the Torah is the lock, the Tarot is the key, because all the keys are here. All right, now the Tarot. Before we do that, the Western Array musical note for the moon or Luna that goes with the High Priestess card is F. I'm going to play that for you now. Okay. That's F, and that is for the moon, or for, not the moon card, that's for Pisces. The moon, the planet of the moon, they called it a planet, the ancient planet, because the planet means wanderer, of the moon, is associated with the High Priestess card. So the High Priestess card is associated with the planet of the moon, okay? The card of the moon card, is associated with the zodiac sign of Pisces, the fish, okay? That's the difference. Now, the tarot card for Gemini is the Lover's card. It's kind of a Garden of Eden scene here. You've got the angel of God hovering above in the clouds above Adam and Eve, and you've got Eve over there by the tree with the fruit and the serpent, and that's the serpent, the knowledge of the serpent and the knowledge of the apple or the fruit. Might not have been an apple tree, but as we know, if you cut an apple in half a certain way, you get a 5-pointed star, and you got to do that to get into I think is Pythagoras' school way back when. If you want to get into his school, if you were a Greek way back when, that's how you got in. If you cut the apple in half, then you could get into a school. If you cut it in half the right way, the proper way, the mathematical way. So, and then on the other side, you've got Adam with the tree that shows fire. Okay, the two trees. You got tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life. Okay, now, and you've got the mound of creation in the background there. The mound of creation. Now, the Western Array musical note for Gemini is also F. I'm going to play it again for you. For the lovers for Gemini. The twins, the immortal twin and the mortal twin. Now, the information that is in this video and in the attached document, we attached a blog. You can look up all the words that might seem hard because they might be not, they're not English words. So some are Arabic, some are, Greek, some are Latin. So you might want to look in the description box for how to spell the words, and also for we're going to give you in a moment here the books that we use as a source reference that I'm using to write my Star Magic Grimoire, plus the information I got through Kabbalah and through working in magic and being in covens and orders, and also the page numbers. So if you want to get the page numbers, check on the blog in the description box. Now, so the information that we're using in this video and in the blog is based on the oral tradition known as Kabbalah, taught to me by Rosicrucian clergy when I was but a young girl, the facts of which I've committed to memory. Now the Kabbalah, Rosicrucians, it teaches a form of, it's a Christian Kabbalah. It's Gnostic and Christian Kabbalah. Although studying the very strict Jewish Kabbalah is very, very helpful indeed. And I have studied that too. Now, much of the information about star magic was also taught to me through an adjacent German pagan coven, which had established satellite covens throughout the world. And I began writing a book based on these extremely important teachings in 1988, which I have entitled to be my Star Magic Grimoire. And the reference books for the Lunar Mansions and for my Star Magic Grimoire, the first book is Mansions of the Moon, a Lunar Zodiac for Astrology, and Magick 2nd edition with the 2019, the 2033 Mansion Ephemeris, written by Christopher Warnock in 2019, illustrated by Nigel Jackson, and published by Renaissance Astrology in 2019. The second is the 3 books of occult philosophy, Llewellyn's Source Book series, authored by Henry Cornelius Agrippa of Nettisham in 1533, translated by James Freak in 1650, and annotated by Donald Tyson in 1993, and published in 2000 by Llewellyn Publications. And the third book is The Fixed Stars and Constellations in Astrology, authored by Vivian E. Robson, Bachelor of Science in 1923, published by American Federation of Astrologers, Inc., cover designed by Jack Capola. So thank you for joining us, and please join us again.